In this episode, we look at part 2. What is life like in the South Temperate Zone, New Zealand, page 105 from our Social Studies workbook. New Zealand's location. New Zealand is located in the South Pacific Ocean region. The country lies roughly between latitude 33 and 53 degrees south and between longitude 162 and 175 degrees east. New Zealand is situated in the southern hemisphere, southeast of Australia, which is its closest neighbor. It lies very close to the international date line. This country is the largest of several groups of islands in the Pacific. It comprises of two principal islands, North Island and South Island. There are numerous smaller islands, chief of which is Stewart Island. The capital of New Zealand is Wellington. Its largest city is Auckland. And here we have a map showing where New Zealand is. And we have the equator at 0. And if we go down between 30 degrees south and 60 degrees south to the east of Australia, we'll see New Zealand there shaded in red. Physical features of New Zealand. New Zealand is a very mountainous country with several large regions of plains. North Island consists of hills, mountains, and volcanic peaks. The chief mountain range of North Island extends along the eastern side. North Island has many rivers, most of which rise in the eastern and central mountains. The Waikato is the longest river. We now turn from page 105 to page 106. Here we have a map of New Zealand and we see the Pacific Ocean labeled there. We see North Island and we see South Island. Just below South Island rather, we have Stewart Island. Now between the two islands, North Island and South Island, there's a special water body called a strait. Do you see it? Do you see Cook Strait? Alright, now remember what a strait is. A strait is a small strip of water that connects two larger water bodies. So between North Island and South Island, we have the Cook Strait. We continue. North Island has numerous geysers and mineral hot springs in the volcanic areas. In North Island, earthquakes are frequent, but they are usually minor. South Island has a high, rugged mountain chain. The chief mountain range is the Southern Alps, which extends a southwestern to northeastern direction for almost the entire length of the island. There are 17 peaks in South Island which exceed an elevation of 3,000 meters. Mount Cook, the highest peak, is 3,754 meters. The largest area of flatlands in New Zealand is the Canterbury Plains, which slopes off the Southern Alps. It is in the eastern section of the island. Most of the rivers in South Island rise in the Southern Alps. The longest river on the island is the Coltha. There are many icy lakes on this island. Climate. North Island is nearer to the equator than South Island, and its latitudinal position influences its warmer climate. The coldest climate occurs in the southwestern slopes of the Southern Alps. New Zealand is in the southern hemisphere, and therefore its seasons are opposite to those in the northern hemisphere. Winter occurs between June and July. In the North Island, winter temperatures are between 8 degrees Celsius and 13 degrees Celsius, while in the South Island, winter temperatures range from 3 degrees Celsius to 9 degrees Celsius. In summer, temperatures in the North Island range from 16 degrees Celsius to 23 degrees Celsius, while in the South Island they range between 10 degrees Celsius to 19 degrees Celsius. That's pretty cold. Vegetation and natural resources. The most important resource of New Zealand is its land, which is ideal for dairy farming, crop farming, and the rearing of sheep and cattle. Forest products are also very important. There is a wide range of mineral deposits throughout the main islands. These include coal, gold, sand, gravel, and limestone. In the North Island are some of the world's finest grassland, producing some of the best pastures. North Island has many hectares of planted forest. Pine is the most important timber. The South Island has a larger area for growing crops. On the Canterbury Plains, farmers grow wheat, fruits, and vegetables. However, both islands produce fruits such as cherries, apricots, apples, plum, peaches, pear, kiwi, and avocados. South Island also produces oats, barley, and corn for local consumption. Economic activities. The economy of New Zealand is mainly dependent on trading with countries such as Britain, China, Australia, Japan, and the United States of America. The country's economy depends mainly on farming, mining, manufacturing, fishing, and trading. Farming. Crop farming, dairy farming, and the rearing of sheep and cattle are the main economic activities in New Zealand. There are approximately 46 million sheep and 9 million cattle in New Zealand. Sheep outnumber the human population in the ratio of 25-1. On the mountain slopes of South Island, sheep are reared mainly for their wool. On the North Island, farmers rear beef and dairy cattle. The fishing industry also plays an important part in New Zealand's economy. This is sustained by both marine and freshwater species. Manufacturing. The most valuable manufactured goods in New Zealand are their processed foods. Milk is processed into cheese and butter, while lamb and beef are frozen for export. New Zealand also manufactures iron, steel, textile, and aluminium. The largest manufacturing center is in Auckland. Mining. In New Zealand, there are few minerals. The most important minerals are gold, iron ore, coal, and limestone. In the 1970s, the mineral output of New Zealand increased as deposits of petroleum and natural gas were discovered. Trading. New Zealand's national economy depends on exporting raw materials, wool, processed foods, and timber. This country is the world's leading exporter of wool, mutton, lamb, cheese, and butter. Jamaica imports butter and cheese from New Zealand. New Zealand exports wood pulp, newsprint, and timber. Most of the fruits grown are exported to Japan, the United States of America, and Britain. Avocados are also exported to Australia. Social and cultural activities. The cultural life of New Zealand is of European origin. The Maori were the first settlers in New Zealand and they developed the earliest cultural traditions. However, other groups, particularly the Polynesians, have contributed to New Zealand's cultural tradition. The North Island is less mountainous and warmer than South Island, and so more people live in the North Island. New Zealanders are famous for their well-developed culture in art, which feature elaborate wood carvings in buildings, canoes, and gateways to villages. Like Jamaica, most New Zealand families have a vegetable and fruit garden on their properties, where they grow some of their food. It is common for families to have animals, especially cats and dogs, as pets. New Zealanders are keen sports enthusiasts. Rugby is the national game. They participate in winter sports such as soccer, netball, hockey, skating, skiing, and mountain climbing. The most popular summer sports are tennis, cricket, swimming, horse racing, and hiking. New Zealanders also compete in a variety of international sporting events such as soccer, cricket, rugby, tennis, sailing, and netball. The West Indies cricket team plays against New Zealand, and Jamaica's netball team competes with the New Zealanders. Music and dancing play an important role in the social and cultural activities of New Zealand. On page 109, we have our unit review. Please complete so that when we come to class, we are better able to discuss the answers. In the next episode, we will look at part 3. What is life like in the North Temperate Zone, Japan? See you then.